What if I told you that everything you've ever wanted, success, love, abundance, has been responding to you all along, and not in some distant mystical way, but through the very energy you're constantly putting out? Think about it. Every thought you've ever had, every word you've spoken, every emotion you've experienced, these aren't just fleeting moments. They're signals, vibrations, messages you're sending into the universe. And the universe, in turn, is always listening, always responding, and mirroring back exactly what you emit. Most people go through life unaware of this hidden conversation happening beneath their awareness. They believe life is a series of random events, a chaotic mess of luck and chance. But what if nothing is random? What if every pattern, every coincidence, every recurring experience is a coded message from the universe, meant to guide you, teach you, or reflect your inner state? Here's the truth. The universe isn't separate from you. It's an extension of your consciousness. It's a mirror that reflects the energy you radiate. When you understand how to speak its language, vibrations, feelings, and aligned actions, you unlock the power to shape your reality intentionally. Most people don't realize they're constantly in conversation with this invisible force. They think their thoughts are private, their feelings fleeting, and their words insignificant. But every thought, every emotion, and every word is broadcasting a signal, like a radio transmission, into the vast field of energy that connects everything. And just like tuning a radio, your life responds to the frequency you're on. If you're vibrating with worry, scarcity, or doubt, the universe will mirror that, bringing you more circumstances that reinforce those feelings. Conversely, if you're centered in gratitude, love, and confidence, those qualities will attract experiences that resonate at the same high frequency. This is why repeating the same patterns, whether in relationships, finances, or health, is actually a reflection of your internal wiring. It's the universe echoing what you've been broadcasting. When you understand this, you realize that nothing outside of you is controlling your life. It's your inner state that creates your outer world. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. But I've tried everything. I've done affirmations, visualizations, and yet nothing seems to shift. That's because most approaches only scratch the surface. They focus on the words or the techniques, but neglect the core, your vibration, your emotional state, and your subconscious beliefs. You see, the universe doesn't respond to words alone. It responds to the energy behind those words, the feelings, the deep-seated beliefs, the vibrational signature you emit from your core. If your inner world is filled with doubt, fear, or unworthiness, no amount of positive affirmations will override that unless you address the root. This is why awareness is your most powerful tool. When you become conscious of the signals you're sending, your thoughts, feelings, and habitual beliefs, you can start to intentionally shift them. And when you do, you send a new, more aligned message to the universe. Most people live unconsciously, caught up in a loop of old patterns. They wake up, think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and wonder why life doesn't change. But the moment you wake up to this truth, that you're in a constant dialogue with the universe, you realize that you hold the key to transformation. Imagine this. Every day, you have a choice. You can either broadcast a signal of lack, limitation, and struggle, or you can tune into abundance, trust, and love. The difference is subtle but profound. When you shift your inner frequency, the external world shifts to match it. This isn't wishful thinking. It's physics. Everything is vibration. Your body, your environment, your thoughts, they all vibrate at specific rates. And just like tuning a radio, when you align your internal frequency, you naturally attract experiences that resonate with it. Now, most people try to force change by sheer willpower. repeating affirmations, visualizing or setting intentions, and hope that something will happen. But here's the secret. The universe doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your state of being. Words are just signals, but your vibration is the actual transmission. Think about it. You can say, "I am successful," but if deep down you feel inadequate or unworthy, your vibration contradicts the words. The universe picks up the underlying feeling, your true frequency, and responds accordingly. That's why feeling is the secret ingredient. Visualization is another powerful tool. Seeing yourself already living your dream, feeling the joy of it, and immersing yourself in that emotion. Because the brain doesn't differentiate between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. Both activate the same neural pathways. The more emotion you pour into your visualization, the stronger the signal you send out. It's like broadcasting a clear, high-frequency message into the field of infinite possibility. When you feel worthy, abundant, and loved, the universe responds by arranging circumstances that match that energy. But here's where most people trip up. They visualize what they want while still holding on to feelings of lack, doubt, or unworthiness. They see the goal, but their inner vibe is still rooted in scarcity. That's like trying to tune into a high-frequency station while still broadcasting a low one. You get mixed signals. Remember, your thoughts and feelings are instructions to the universe. When you dwell on fears or worst-case scenarios, you unintentionally plant seeds of doubt that grow into your reality. Conversely, when you focus on what you want with conviction and genuine emotion, you're planting seeds of abundance. This is why mastering your inner state is essential. It's not enough to wish or hope. You must feel as if what you desire is already yours. When you embody that feeling, whether through meditation, affirmation, or simply shifting your focus, you're aligning your vibrational frequency with your highest vision. Most people underestimate the power of their subconscious beliefs. These deep patterns, formed from childhood, past experiences, or societal conditioning, operate below the level of conscious awareness. They're like the operating system of your reality. If you believe you're unworthy, incapable, or destined for struggle, those beliefs will override your conscious desires every time. That's why affirmations alone often fall flat. They need to be backed by emotional conviction and a willingness to reprogram those core beliefs. The process of change begins with awareness. Notice the thoughts you think most often. Pay attention to your habitual feelings. Recognize the stories you tell yourself about what's possible or impossible. When you become aware of these signals, you gain the power to change them. And the moment you start to shift your inner dialogue, replacing doubt with trust, fear with faith, scarcity with abundance, you begin to broadcast a new signal. The universe responds by rearranging circumstances to match your new frequency. Another powerful practice is writing down your intentions. When you put your desires into words on paper, they become more tangible. Writing helps you clarify what you want and sends a clear message to the universe. It's like making a contract, an energetic declaration of what you're calling into your life. But don't just write your goals, feel them. Embody the emotion of already having achieved what you desire. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the security. When you do this, your vibrational frequency rises, and the universe begins to deliver in ways that reflect that high vibe. And here's the key: patience and trust. Many people get impatient when they don't see immediate results. They start to doubt, question, or even revert to old patterns. That's natural. Change takes time, especially at the subconscious level. The trick is to keep your focus on your desired reality, hold the feeling of already having it, and trust that the universe is working behind the scenes. Sometimes, the most profound shifts happen in the silence, the quiet moments when you're not trying to force or control. Remember, the universe doesn't operate on your timetable. It responds to your vibrational state, which may need time to align fully. When you surrender, release attachment, and trust the process, you create space for miracles to unfold naturally. Most people are so caught up in trying to control everything that they forget the most important part: surrender. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means letting go of the need to micromanage every outcome. It's about trusting that, in divine timing, everything is falling into place. When you truly trust, you stop asking when or how, and instead focus on who you are being. Because who you are being, the confidence, the peace, the certainty, is what determines what the universe reflects back. You see, manifestation isn't about getting something. It's about becoming someone who naturally attracts what they desire. When you embody that state fully, genuinely, you remove the resistance that blocks your flow. Think back to moments when life felt effortless. Opportunities showed up out of nowhere. You felt aligned, inspired, and in flow. Those weren't coincidences. They were times when your inner vibration matched the reality you wanted to create. The only difference between then and now is awareness. The more conscious you become of this process, the more intentional your life becomes. You start to see the signs, follow your intuition, and trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. And here's the most vital truth. This isn't a one-time realization. It's a way of being, a permanent shift in how you relate to life. You don't just practice this for a week and wait for miracles. You live it, every moment, every day. Every thought, every feeling, every action is an expression of who you are. When you fully own that, when you realize that your power lies in your inner state, everything changes. The universe is always listening, always responding, and always reflecting your deepest truth. So, ask yourself, are you ready to step into that power? Are you prepared to stop waiting for signs and start creating your reality consciously? Because once you do, the whole game changes. You are not a victim of circumstances. You're a creator, shaping your life with every vibration you emit. When you align your inner world with your highest vision, the outer world must follow suit. Remember, the universe isn't testing you, it's reflecting you. When you trust in your own power, when you embody the belief that you're already deserving and abundant, everything you desire will find its way to you, inevitably. Most people spend their whole lives asking questions, hoping for guidance, waiting for signs, yet they forget the most important step: listening, truly listening. Because the universe is always speaking, in whispers, in signs, in subtle shifts. Signs aren't just coincidences, they're messages, repeated numbers, encounters, intuitive nudges. They all carry meaning, but most dismiss them as coincidence or forget to pay attention. And in doing so, they cut themselves off from the guidance they seek. The universe doesn't always respond immediately or in the way we expect. Sometimes silence is the answer. Sometimes delays are redirections. Sometimes what looks like a setback is actually a setup for something greater. The key is to trust the process, to stay present, open, and receptive. When you surrender your need to control every detail, you create space for miracles to flow in, and that requires letting go of rigid expectations. Trust that the universe will deliver in its own perfect way and timing. Your job is to stay aligned, remain receptive, and keep your vibration high. The moment you accept that you're a co-creator, an active participant in shaping your reality, everything shifts. It's not about waiting for external validation or approval. It's about owning your power, trusting your inner guidance, and acting from a place of certainty. When you do this consistently, you'll notice opportunities, synchronicities, and breakthroughs happening more frequently, because you're no longer waiting for life to happen. You're creating it consciously. And here's the truth. The universe responds to your inner state, your beliefs, and your feelings. When you truly trust that what you desire is already on its way, you align your energy with that truth. You become a magnet for your dreams. So are you ready to claim your divine power? Are you ready to stop asking and start creating? Because the moment you fully step into that role, confident, certain, present, the universe will mirror that back to you in ways you never imagined. Remember, you're not separate from the energy that breathes life into everything. You are the creator of your reality. The moment you realize this and embody it, your life begins to transform effortlessly. If this message resonates with you, let us know by commenting, "I am ready to create." Because now, it's your turn to step into your power and manifest the life you truly desire.